Hey guys, welcome back to Bearded Lumber today. Matthew and I greatly appreciate you tuning in. We're sawing some white oak, red oak for a customer, and we saved this last log to talk to you guys about. This is why you always inspect your logs. Come back in just a minute, we'll talk about it. Okay guys, welcome back. Like I said, the topic of this video is always inspect your logs. Good customer dropped these off. Didn't say a thing about finding any metal, foreign material, anything in these logs. We talked all about what he wanted to cut out of them because it was 5 or 6 logs. It was 4 or 5 different things. Matthew hollered at me and said, hey, you need to look at this log. So I'm gonna spray a little white paint on it so you can see all the defects. There's wire, there's wire. It's in the tree there, in the tree there, 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 there. Here's some 120 volt wire in the tree. And there's a mark right here. There's a metal mark right there. So, and there's one right there. This is why you always inspect your logs. That's pretty visual. And anytime you got a butt cut, people, anytime, you really ought to be looking around the 4 feet of the bottom of the butt cut. Because if somebody had cattle wire, barbed wire, a goat fence, chicken pen, it's probably going to be in the bottom 4 foot of that butt cut. Even on our property here, my grandpa bought it for the people that homesteaded it in the 1900s. Excuse me. And he run cattle, pigs, chickens, and I know for years he'd run them from the front pasture over to where my uncle lives on a back pasture, right through the middle of the woods. And he'd put up a fence, and he didn't put up a post unless there wasn't a tree available. So it happens. You're going to see it. You just got to learn to deal with it. What we're going to do with this one, I'm going to cut it off right about here at 12 foot, and we're going to look. If I see any blue staining on that end of the log, we're going to cut another foot off of it. So, give me a second to get rid of the cough. Real world, people. And we'll get the chainsaw, we'll whack it off, and we'll see if we see any more evidence up in the log of metal. Okay guys, Matthew went ahead and picked the log up off the ground. This is my 12-foot mark here. Now, let's talk about why I'm gonna saw this off and other logs we don't. We had a video a while back, did extremely well. You never know what you're gonna find in the log. I'll link it or have Matthew link it to this video. You can go back and watch it. We had a big electrical cable stuck way up in a tree. It wasn't down here at the bottom, it was way up in the tree, and it was pretty shallow. And we cut underneath it and didn't hit a thing, but unfortunately on the other end of the log, we did hit a nail. This, I'm not gonna try to cut underneath it for several reasons. First of all, the customer don't want to spend money on bands if they can avoid it. Now, if we hit a nail on that end, he's gonna have to eat it. But this, being that it's cattle wire, could go all the way around the tree. There could be a lot more nails in this bottom 2 or 3 foot of tree, and there could be a little bit here. But that's why we're cutting this off. I know what the end use for this is, and you don't need 14 feet, 12 feet to be fine. Actually, it only needs about 8 feet. But that's my reason why we're going to chop it off, because, you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's at least 10 opportunities to hit nails, more likely. What's them old horseshoe nails, fence nails, and them things are horrible. So I'm gonna crank the chainsaw up, whack it off. Before I cut it all the way off, I'll have Matthew set it over the box and we'll drop it over there, because he ain't picking that up and I ain't picking it up. And then, like I say, we're going to visually inspect this end of the log and see if we see any blue staining. Because if you look at the end of this log, let me get the chainsaw out of Matthew's hands. If you didn't have none of this visual representation, this gives it away. Blue stain, up in here, blue stain. And if it was clean cut, this would almost be black. You could really see it. So that's what we're going to look for on the outside of this cut. So put your earplugs on. We're gonna run this 500i for a minute. Okay, that was pretty good. Let Matthew go ahead and get a better grip on it. I'm happy with what I see on the end. I'll show it to you here in just a second. There we go. Now, this is what we was hoping for. No blue stains. This is spalting. Log's been down probably a while, but I don't see any evidence of blue staining coming through this end. That's no assurance that we won't hit nothing, but it's kind of a gamble, and this is what you got to do. I don't see anything over here. Look at this. It's got 1, 2, 3 trunks coming out this end. So this is right before the limbs started splitting out. It's 1, 2, triple hearted. That won't be good, but we'll work around it. So that's the whole point of this video, guys, trying to explain, you know, always check your logs, visually inspect them. It's not a bad idea to, you know, roll them around the mill. Matthew looks at them, I look at them, and we miss stuff. I mean, sometimes if it's buried in the bark, you can't find it. But something like that, you've got to find that. There's no excuse for that. To be honest with you, the customer should have cut that off and not even brought it. We wouldn't have had to deal with it. But in a way, it's good that they did, because I took a cut and I visually looked to see if there was any more metal. I can't see it, so we're gonna load it up here. We're gonna go with it. What do you think, Matthew? Go ahead and make one cut, and then we're gonna make a cut or two, see if we hit anything, so you won't be on a cliffhanger. And probably just go ahead and take the bark off all four sides, and then we'll talk about it, and we'll be done. Be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. I'm not a gambler by no means. You'll very rarely ever see me gamble a dollar, a nickel, or quarter. But when it comes to sawmilling, we gamble a lot on logs. I get a lot of people, why don't you buy a metal detector? Well, if you're sawing a couple logs a day, it's a good idea. But these days we might saw 50, 60, 70 logs. and it's just a time sink. We can't do it. And the problem with a commercial metal detector, it won't get this deep in the bark. If you go to a big industrial sawmill, they got a metal detector to go all the way to the heart, but that thing's so strong you can't get anywhere around it. So that's why I don't use a metal detector, because I know somebody's going to make a comment about it. It's just a time problem, and it won't go to the center of this log. It only goes a couple inches deep. But like I say, we gambled, we won, we didn't hit any metal. I'm tickled with it. A little bit about the sawing. This cant is going to end up being 1 1/8 by 7.5 boards. And what I did is, this is set up at 1 1/8 to cut to the bottom. This side is set to leave 7.5 inches. So I'll come back and I'll take 2 cuts off the top, 2 cuts off the bottom, and that'll leave 7.5 inches right through there. And then we'll turn it over and cut it. So I just wanted to cover that. That's why I cut it the way I did. But this video is about always checking your logs, always looking to, you know, I've had comments, well, you're doing your customer a disservice, you know, hitting metal. I didn't bring the log. The customer brought the log. I didn't nail the nail in it, and more than likely the customer didn't nail the nail in it. They're just there. It happens, cost of doing business. Make sure you tell people that up front. They bring them to me to saw, and that's what Matthew and I are going to do. We're going to saw it. If there's visible signs of metal, we may take a real deep cut, try to get under it. We may cut the end of it off. And if it's too bad, we may just cull it and tell them it was too bad to even start. If I look at the end of it and the whole end is blue from a lot of iron stains, and we cut 2 feet off and it's still blue, and we cut another 2 feet off and it's still blue, I'll get to them, they can take it home, or you can cut it firewood. Because, you know, we don't intentionally hit metal. Every time we've hit metal, it was accidentally. You know, we didn't intentionally hit metal. It was there, and it was hidden. And I got a bucket over there just full of metal debris, anything you ever want to imagine that we found in trees. The more you saw, the more you're going to find it. Like I say, it's a teaching experience for your customers. Just tell them up front, especially if they're bringing yard trees, come out of their yard, tell them, look, you know, you got a 50-50 chance I'm going to hit metal. This is what it's going to cost per blade. You know, how many blades are you comfortable spending before I quit? You know, so if it's a beautiful maple, beautiful walnut, got some sentimental value, beautiful white oak, you may want to spend $200 or $300 on blades. If it's just an old knotty pine tree, you know, throw it away and get another one. So, what do you think, Matthew? We covered it all?
I think so.
One other thing on this white oak, as you can see the color, this is what I'd call almost spalting. It's one stage away from rotting. That's the next thing that's going to happen. This is going to rot. It's been down for quite some time. It either was dead on the stump and started decaying already, or it's been cut for a long time, man. It's been a while since I talked to the customer. I think he'd been down quite a while, but if he hadn't have brought it to us this year, by next year, he probably could have still got something out of the heart, but you're going to lose more and more of this outside layer. So bear that in mind. Your logs do have a time limit. We've covered that in great detail. There's plenty of videos on that. But I believe that's going to do it for this video. You know, make sure you always inspect your logs. Big shout out to Matthew and Solomon editing these videos for me. I greatly appreciate it. If you get a chance, check out Solomon's channel, Third Beard Fishing. I know he'd appreciate you tuning in. We had a bunch of videos from vacation that'll be out by the time you see this. You know, you get to know Solomon. He's good at fishing. We just went on a bad week. Didn't have that good of luck, but we tried. That's why they call it fishing, not catching. As always, big shout out to Wood Mizer. We love our LT70. We've grown into it. Big stuff like this is where that saw is top notch. On small stuff, I sometimes think my 35 was quicker. I know it was functioning wise, but on this big stuff, 35 don't hold a candle to their LT70. 50. I got a buddy that runs a 40 and a 50. This 50 is a hoss. So if you get to where you need something bigger, give Wood Mizer a call. If you want to talk to somebody, call Joe Maine. His information will be in the description. He'll be glad to help you out with sawmill, blades, sharpener, setter, edger, kiln, whatever. But his specialty is blades. He can get you hooked up. no matter what mill you run, Wood Mizer carries a lot of different sizes for woodland mills, bakers. What's this new one I keep seeing advertised? Maxi Cut. You can probably even get blades for them. So that's going to do it, guys. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you watching. I hope you find value in what we do. Remember, send your prayers. We'll see you back at the mill.
Thank you for watching. Here's a video selection and a playlist suggestion. Click here to subscribe for more great content. We'll see you at the mill.